Hi, Mark here from the Tangibound Podcast Network and host of the flagship show, the Tangibound Podcast. Did you know that we over at Tangibound are always looking for amazing podcasts to promote? And did you also know that we are also proud nerds and geeks of everything from movies, music, gaming, TV shows, and comic books to wrestling, MMA, soccer, and football? Whatever you can nerd or geek out about, we've got it. And if you're interested, we can help you find it. And if you're a show looking for a place to call home, we've got you covered. Side effects may include upset stomach, dizziness, tumors, shakes, and in some rare cases, death from excessive laughter. Though to be fair, it's only sometimes. Other side effects may include diarrhea, gallstones, heart palpitations, and strong desire for cookies on the dark side. Talk to your doctor and visit TangiboundNetwork.com and see if Tangibound Network is right for you.
We're not doctors, therapists, trained professionals of any kind, so if you feel you do need help, please reach out and get the help you need. We have a whole list of things on our files page over on Facebook at facebook.com/crazylifepodcast, and or just search on the internet for the suicide prevention hotline number, or go to NAMI.org or whatever resource you can find. But just please reach out for help if you need it. If you feel as though you're going to harm yourself or others, definitely reach out. And try not to be alone. Also, if you feel that way and you realize that you're writing a note or making plans of how you would do, like harm yourself or others, definitely reach out. That's a huge red flag. And lastly, please do not replace the idea of therapy with listening to this show. Again, if you need help, please reach out and get the help that you need, or contact us. We can try to help you find the help that you need.
Life sucks to the last drop. Are you gonna blow your head off? Take good aim and don't forget to duck. Life sucks every Monday and all the way to Sunday, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't care how you're doing, what's up or how's it hanging. I'd like to buy this world one last drink. Life sucks all of the time, stick it up your sunshine, and then you'll see the clouds every day. And then you'll see the clouds every day. And then you'll see the clouds every day.
Welcome to the Crazy Life, everyone. My name's Jen. I am your hostess for the evening, and with me, as always, we have Brian. And oh no, Hanno.
Well,
he's off having a beautifully, wonderfully, amazingly time in all the adjectives with his absolutely gorgeous wife, Sharon.
Mm-hmm,
so,
At least
enjoy
we hope
yourselves, you two crazy couple.
Yep. Yeah. Seeing some of the pictures he's been posting, and it's hard to not hate him.
Oh yeah. Super jealous.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like jelly all over me. Yeah. I am completely jealous.
Yeah, there's some pretty nice pictures so far, which that's pretty average for the trips that they take to Jamaica, or where was it they used to go? Maui, I think it was, before Jamaica. So, yep, I'm sure he's having a good time, but also can't wait to get home and roll around on the floor with his dogs. So, go.
And speaking of dogs, if you hear snoring in the background, I promise it is not me. I have two puppies that are both very happily snoring away right behind me. So. No snoring from me today.
Right.
But no, you are right. Hanno is probably really jonesing for those puppies, but
yeah,
I'm sure he's having a fabulous time.
Yeah, I hope so. So, all right. Well, enough about him. No.
Exactly. Enough about him. Let's move on.
Right. He's not here. He's dead to me. No, I'm kidding.
So, since I was gone last week, I'll start. It's been freaking crazy busy. Like, I normally, like 6 o'clock, I am sitting down watching TV and just chilling the rest of the night.
Mhm.
The last week and a half, I have been moving my butt up until like 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been crazy, crazy busy between work and I've started working out again.
Mhm.
So I got that going on. And it just, I don't know why, but it just seems like there's so much stuff that I'm kind of trying to fit into a day. I mean, this week alone, the days almost are blending together
Oh,
because
wow.
of how busy I've been. So, which is good in a lot of ways, but in some ways it's kind of a hindrance. So I'm just kind of trying to find my balance a bit through
Right.
the whole thing. I did start seeing a therapist, so I've got talk therapy going on,
Right.
which is a good thing. Highly recommend it to anyone who's interested. Go seek out your professionals. She's given me some really good advice. Focus on me. She gave me the tea kettle speech that I give you guys, which is a good thing.
Right.
Can't pour from an empty cup. You
Right.
gotta fill your own cup first, which is very good. Also, that selfishness is a good thing
Right.
in a lot of ways. You know, you can go overboard, just like everybody can go overboard with everything. But
Mhm.
definitely focus on myself, which is interesting because I put a lot of emphasis on other people's feelings and other people's thoughts. And one particular circumstance, I was thinking, I'm like, well, what are they thinking of me? And then I stopped myself and I said, doesn't really matter. What matters is what I think of me.
Mhm.
And what matters is what I want to do and how I want to do it. So it's really been a struggle to kind of change my mindset, but I'm on the right path.
Good. Good.
So yeah, so I'm getting there. I also started a 21-day challenge because a friend of mine told me that it takes 21 days to make a positive habit. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to challenge myself. So I'm going to go to the gym 21 days in a row and see if I can make it a positive habit in my day. So it doesn't matter what I do when I get to the gym. It matters as I get to the gym.
Right.
So I'm not saying that I have super hard workouts or anything like that, but at least not yet. That's coming. For now, it's getting to the gym. I'm doing at least 30 minutes of cardio. And if I want to do anything else, I'll do a little anything else. But so far, it's been going good. I'm day 4. So I'm early on in my little challenge.
Yeah.
But I have friends that are my what's the word? My accountability.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I send them a picture every time I'm at the gym. So I send them a picture of me at the gym, holding up my fingers and the number of days that I'm at. And my one buddy didn't quite realize what I was doing and responded back, "Nice nails." I'm like, "Thank you. But that is not what the fingers are for." Like, the fingers are for the day.
Right.
So once he caught on to it, he's like, "Oh, that makes sense." I'm like, yeah.
Right.
That's why yesterday I was only holding up 3, and the day before 2. So
Right.
I appreciate you liking my nails, but not my point.
Right. So tomorrow, just hold up 10 tomorrow and see if anyone says anything.
Fast forward.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I'm doing that. Gosh, what else is going on? I'm preparing for a big proposal at work. There is a program that we've been using the free version of that I would like us to get the paid version of. So I am in the process of putting together a proposal to present my case to buy the paid version. So yeah, so that's a big thing that's going on that I'm prepping for, which is interesting because before I would have a lot of anxiety, and I'm not having so much anxiety around presenting this, which I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm having a lot more confidence in myself in this position. So, which is a good thing. I'm not going to question it too hard and just kind of go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other thing, yesterday was the anniversary of my stepfather's passing. So we had a social function, my first social function in over a year. And I was awkward as hell.
Right.
Because it's been over a year since I've had to socialize with anyone more than like 2-3 people.
Right.
So
I think a lot of people are going to be running into that. Like I really do, as they go back to work or whatever it is,
Like small groups I'm okay with, but when it gets to the bigger groups and small talk, man, am I out of practice.
Yeah.
Ay. I was all over the place. My hands were going crazy. I mean, I was just, I didn't know what to do with my hands. I didn't know what to do with my body. I didn't know how to stand. I mean, I was just a mess.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, this is not good. But I did a fairly good job of not beating myself up too bad about it, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not something I've always been successful at, but I've been fairly successful this time, thankfully. It is what it is. And I'm not perfect. And I don't expect to be perfect. Or at least I do expect to be perfect. But I am learning to accept that I'm not perfect.
Right.
I guess is more than appropriate.
Yep.
And it is one of those things that you just kind of have to go through the motions, and people love you and they accept you, and you just have to love and accept yourself. So it's finding that balance and getting there. So
yeah.
Other than that, that's been about my week. What about you?
I've been sleeping like garbage.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't know what it is, but I'm just really struggling to go to sleep. I think it's because the last few nights it's been cold outside, so the heat's been on, and I think it's gotten too warm for me, and I think it's just made me anxious. I took last night I tried taking, an anti-anxiety pill, and but silly me, instead of waiting until I was more toward going to sleep, I did it when I first got into bed and I was still pretty awake. And I think, I ended up kind of fighting it instead of waiting till I'm a little tired and then take it to kind of help me, ease into things. But, I don't know what it is. I've just had such a hard time falling asleep. And staying asleep. Like I've been, tossing and turning a bunch and all that. So yeah, I don't know. It stinks. I know part of I've been kind of off my own sleep cycle because the night, like I got my second vaccine shot Saturday, and Friday night I slept terribly. And then I was tired from the shot for about a day and a half, 2 days. And I also think part of it was from not sleeping real well, and then I think when I slept, I think it was more like, exhaustion sleep than it was like a good sleep, kind of is the best way I can put it. It's like for anyone who's blacked out or not blacked out, but passed out from drinking and you wake up, you might have been out for 6 or 7 hours or 4 hours, but you rarely wake up, fresh as a daisy. You usually wake up and you're like, oh, geez, like were people beating me while I was sleeping, kind of a thing. Like you just, so yeah, it wasn't a good restful sleep. So I don't know. I think I might try that with the medicine a little bit for a couple days, just more so, not so it becomes a habit, but just so that it's, maybe just kind of get me back into a rhythm of falling asleep at not noon, Seriously, today I fell asleep. It was probably around noon and I had to get up about 2. So, hopefully, and I deliberately didn't take a nap later today. So I'm hoping that means that when I go in and get into bed, I'm basically going to just be out,
Right.
That's the hope. Cause I've done this, I shouldn't do this, but I've always been able to function this way where I can go get like an hour or 2 of sleep and I can still function for most of the day. And usually what happens is when I get, to sleep time, it's just boom and I'm done, so hope, but again, sometimes that's not the best sleep. So hopefully that'll all be whatever. But anyway, that aside, like I said, got my second shot, was, one of the fortunate ones as far as side effects go. I think I had a really, really mild fever because I was like warm to the touch a little bit. The arm hurt and I was tired, but other than that, I was fine. So, thank goodness for that. So now everybody in the house is vaccinated and whatever. So that's a weight off my shoulders, cause no more worrying about appointments and all that stuff for that. At least not for now. I mean, maybe there'll be booster shots we'll have to get later, but that's a whenever down the road thing. So yeah. Went to the store today and, I scheduled that last night so I could keep the anxiety down. That was nice, and helped a woman that she had one of those little carts, those ones where they're just like half size. The back part of it for some reason wasn't latched. And when she went to turn, she was at the pharmacy. When she went to turn, the back basically just flew open and half her cart just dumped on the floor.
Aw.
Yeah, luckily it was all like TV dinners and box stuff. There was no glass or anything like that, but it was, I ran over and helped her and she was like, I can get it, and I was like, just let me do it. I was like, and I'm like, it'll count as my good deed for the day. And she laughed and she's like, okay, and then let me pick up the stuff for her. Cause she looked like when she was starting to bend down, it looked like she had to get into a stance, and I'm like, okay, like this,
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be easy for her, so I'll go take care of it and, help out because, it just sucks. I don't know why or whatever, something in the cart for some reason, like I said, just didn't latch in the back for some reason, and everything just all over the floor.
Aw.
Yeah. And she's just like, it was basically how she was too. She was like, "Aw," like it was just like, cause it was just so fast. It was just, like I said, it was almost like if you just dumped it yourself, just poured it right on the floor. So, yeah. But anyway, it's, other than that, it's been, pretty quiet week. I gotta get up. Oh yeah. Speaking of, the sleeping thing, to be up at my doctor's office at 9:30 in the morning to get a blood draw. So, and I have to fast beforehand, which means I can't just go get it done, come home and go right to bed because I'm going to be hungry. So I'm going to need to eat, which means then I'll stay up for a little longer. So yeah, it'll,
I feel ya.
yeah, but I had to get it done because I need to have it done before my appointment next week, so I really needed to get in there today. So, or tomorrow, I mean, not today. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't really done a whole lot this week. It's been really, it was really nice today. We were out for a while and stuff. Was out on the patio. It was really nice to, just be outside. It wasn't hot. It was warm, but it wasn't hot, and it was sunny and all that stuff. So it was nice to kind of soak up some of that.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yes, we'll jump into our topic of the day, and our topic is commitments. Specifically, keeping commitments to yourself. I struggle with this one. I don't know about you, Brian, but
yeah,
I make all sorts of promises to myself, and I am notoriously for not showing up with those promises. So, I just talked about the fact that I made a commitment to myself to go to the gym for 21 days in a row.
Yeah.
Day 5. Well, day 4. Sorry. Jumping ahead of myself here. But it's, I have a feeling, I'm going to word this correctly here. I am going to complete this challenge.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me to follow through. And I think I found this article that actually kind of speaks a little bit to that and does a pretty good job. So it's more of a reading one versus a talking point one. So I'll try not to, I'll try to keep it interesting for you folks. All right. So here we go. This is from theblissfulmind.com. And it's really recent. It was March 17th, 2021.
Okay.
Is when it was posted.
Yeah.
So it was really recent. So if you're anything like me, keeping commitments to yourself isn't easy. Staying committed to others who are relying on us is simple enough, but why is it so hard to keep those commitments to ourselves? When I say keeping a commitment to yourself, I mean doing what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to start waking up earlier, sticking up for yourself, working fewer hours, or eating better, those are commitments you're making to yourself that no one else is going to do for you. But if you're always setting goals and plans for yourself but can't seem to follow through with them, you're breaking the most important promise, the one with yourself. I found myself getting tired of doing this, so I decided it was time to keep the commitments I make for myself. In this post, I'm sharing some thoughts I've had about self-commitment and how I'm shifting my mindset to prioritize my goals, especially when my doubts try to talk me out of things. I can usually find a good 10 to 12 reasons why I can't or shouldn't or won't do something.
Yeah.
And I find maybe a handful of reasons why I should or, go through with it.
Yeah.
I am talking myself out of going to the gym as I'm in the car driving to the gym.
Yeah. Yep.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And I don't know why my brain works this way, but it does.
Yeah. Mine does the same thing.
Works this way. So hopefully she helps.
Yeah, mine does the same thing. I said mine does the same thing. I mean, I don't know how many times over the years that I've, I'll make plans, and then like the very next day, my brain is immediately trying to find ways out of it. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's, hanging with friends or it's a doctor's appointment or whatever it is, my brain is immediately trying to talk me out of it, come up with reasons not to do things, even when it's something I know I'm going to enjoy. So that's, like you said, that it sucks.
It's like a velociraptor with a fence.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of a delay thing happening.
Yeah, there is.
Now.
Yep.
So, alrighty. So let's see here. Why do we let ourselves down so often and prioritize everything else instead? Maybe because we're taught that it's selfish to prioritize ourselves. The funny thing is, I know deep down that it's not selfish to focus on my own needs. I don't consider people who go after their goals selfish, as long as it's not at the expense of others, of course. Yet it's still something I struggle with. Perhaps it's a problem of limiting beliefs. It's easy to think that we're not worthy of achieving or getting what we want. We talk ourselves out of things by thinking there are more important things to focus on. Even if we have time, we always find ways to avoid it. If we plan as if we're going to get what we want, we make lists of things we want to change, things we want to achieve, and the type of person we want to be. But when it comes to making changes, the little step-by-step things to get us there, we chicken out. And yes, it is okay to focus on you. The truth is that our goals are often lofty and perhaps outside of our comfort zone, which is a good thing. The problem is when we set expectations that are too high for ourselves, we become too afraid of failure that we avoid taking action. Which is why my goal is not to go to the gym and lose weight. It's not to go to the gym and work out for an hour. It's not anything around anything other than step one, getting my butt to the gym.
Yeah.
And people have joked and I've joked about the fact that, I walk in the door of the gym, I just turn around and walk back out.
Yeah.
I made my goal, but that's the key to me, for me, is I'm like, I've made all these big lofty goals before and I don't follow through with them.
Right.
Maybe if I make it an easier goal, like just getting to the doors, because once you're in the doors, you kind of feel silly just turning around and walking back out.
Right.
So you kind of, like, well, while I'm here, I might as well just jump on the treadmill for a little bit.
Right.
So I'm kind of using that to my advantage, of course. But
right. But what you're saying is makes sense, because it's similar to the idea of like to-do list. If you have a to-do list with like 1,000 things on it, you're less likely to really attack it. If you have a to-do list with like 2 or 3 things on it, especially if they're manageable ones, you're more likely to, cross things off of it and get things accomplished.
Exactly. All right. Instead of believing in our needs and wants, we are focused on our doubts instead. There might be a little voice in your head that says you'll ostracize yourself from others if you focus on pursuing what you want. If the people around you don't share the same goals as you, you might worry that they'll judge you, whether you succeed or fail. In reality, learning to yourself get you further ahead, but you also feel good about yourself because you kept a promise to yourself. If change needs to happen, you have to get a little uncomfortable by prioritizing yourself. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. No one else is going to stick up for your time and get things done that you want to get done. So it's important that you keep your promises to yourself. How I'm keeping commitments to myself. Here's some points here for you. Get in the right mindset. I recently came across a TikTok video where a girl talked about going for hot girl walks. She mentioned that while you're going for a walk, the only thing you're allowed to think about are what you're grateful for and the goals you want to achieve. The hot girl walk concept is a little silly to me, but I do like the intention behind it. Since I saw that, I've been noticing more when my mindset turns negative. I try to notice when I'm being hard on myself or doubting my abilities. The more I become aware of these moments, the better I can act accordingly to pull myself out of these mindsets.
That makes sense, and when you, in the reframing of only allowing yourself to have positive thoughts, can be really helpful. That way, even if it's just during your walk, you're breaking the cycle of negativity.
Yeah.
which can be very important and can really change your attitude about, whatever it is you're doing after the walk.
And that's why a friend of mine is doing the challenge with me, but his challenge is finding something every day to be proud of himself about.
Right.
And it's really tough for him.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, it wouldn't be a challenge if it wasn't tough. It's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've walked him through some different scenarios and different things to think about. And one of the ones he's like, I got up and went to the gym. I'm like, that's great. I'm like, why did you get up and go to the gym? He's like, because it's the best thing for my body and my mind. I said, so you're taking care of yourself?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I guess I am. I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty big win.
Yep.
So if you're, getting up and doing the work to take care of your body and your mind, yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. So, like if you're a person with depression or whatever, just getting out of bed and taking your medicine or getting out of bed and eating or taking a shower, putting on clean clothes, whatever, like all of those things can be big wins that you just overlook because on a day where you're not feeling really affected by your depression, maybe you don't have a problem getting up, taking a shower, blah, 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 but it can be a huge, huge thing on those days where, normally you might just give in and lay in bed all day.
Exactly. Repetition is key. Something I've found that helps with self-discipline and commitment is doing something at the same time every day, or in the same order every day. For example, I struggled for a long time to be consistent with daily exercise. I would tell myself to keep things interesting by switching it up all the time. Did my workouts each day. Unfortunately, this didn't help. But what helped me to be super consistent over the past few months is working out first thing in the morning. My routine is to get up, go to the bathroom, drink some water, get changed in workout clothes, then do a workout. It's the same order every morning, which means that I don't even have to think about what I'm going to do. I'm still a little groggy at the time, so I didn't really give my brain a chance to try and get out of it. Since I've made the commitment to exercise every morning and get up earlier, I don't really lack motivation around it anymore. If I'm ever lying in bed and not wanting to get up, I think to myself, I don't want to fall back into my old habits, and I force myself to get up and get out of bed. So, that's a good point. I hadn't really thought about that before, but it makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. And that's why, the 21-day challenge is 21 days in a row, you do the same behavior. And it's to reinforce that consistency factor. And that makes it easier, and it makes it to the point that you miss it when you don't do it.
Right.
Because you've had it in your life for 21 days already. So, we'll see. I will keep you guys posted on it, if that actually works.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have...
So far, I struggled I struggled my second day. I struggled, but I have a good friend that kicked my butt. And the next point she makes is follow your north node. Now, hang in there with me on this one because it gets a little metaphysical, but that's all right.
Okay.
Some people are into that.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't really talked about astrology on the blog before, but it's something that I'm often exploring to learn more about myself. Of course, I'm hesitant to take it too seriously, but discovering my north node is something that gives me an extra dose of motivation to stay committed to myself. The north node is essentially the traits you need to develop in order to fulfill your life's purpose and find happiness. I discovered that my north node is in Capricorn, which means that I need to stay disciplined, honor my desire for success, and go after my goals. My opposing south node is in Cancer, which means I'm prone to retreating from the world and dwelling on the past. If that's Cancer, I kind of fit the bill. When I start falling back into old habits and thought patterns, I think about whether they're helping me to fulfill my purpose. Often it's not, so I encourage myself to focus on what will help me achieve my goals instead.
That makes
That was pretty good. That was from Catherine Beard
Okay.
and theblissfulmind.com. So
I
a
think
couple things to can think about.
I think what she's saying there makes sense, even if you're not into astrology. Just the figuring out what helps you succeed versus what hinders your success. And then trying to steer clear of those habits. And again, like with anything we talk about, so much of this is just learning patterns and learning becoming aware of what you're doing. Like you said, if you about going to the gym, if you catch yourself having those thoughts, or like my therapist told me, because I'd tell her about how I was going to hang with friends and how my brain immediately was trying to shut it down. And, and she's like, well, why? Well, what is it that you're afraid of, essentially, And I was like, that's the thing is since then we've come to the conclusion that I've, agoraphobia. So now it makes a little more sense as far as what I'm afraid of. I'm literally afraid of going out. It isn't about who or what. It's just I'm afraid of walking out the door. So that's where the problem begins. Whereas if my friends were coming over, it wouldn't be as big of an issue. Think about it. Going back when we were having people over, I never was like trying to get out of things. But whenever we were going somewhere, that's when my brain would try to sabotage the plans. So, now that I know that, when I catch myself doing that, I bring into a little bit of what I've learned in meditation, which is that, the way to be is essentially to be a leaf in the wind, essentially, like the wind's going to pick up, it's going to move you one way or whatever. And you just go with it, basically. But when those thoughts come in, you just let them go. You don't hang on to them. Don't give them any weight or power. Just, okay, that's a thought and let it go. And then the next thought comes. And, but also to, try to reframe when those thoughts come in to try to stop from focusing and really, obsessing on those thoughts. Like when your brain is saying, hey, don't do this because of blah, blah, blah. Be like, yeah, but those are people I enjoy being with. I have fun doing that, that kind of stuff and whatever. It's a tough fight though, and as we've talked before, like this topic is something I've been struggling with for a long time, cause I make lists all the time of things I want to do, of things I want to get done. I have goals in my head, and then I always talk myself out of moving forward at all. So, it can be paralyzing if it gets too far, which is where I'm at. Yeah. So, if people out there, if you can catch these things early, you can fight them a little easier.
Yeah, don't go too far down the rabbit hole if you can help it.
Yeah. It's easier to block a punch before it's thrown or as it's being thrown than to wait until you've already been hit, That's kind of what happens there.
Well, what do you think? We good?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Sounds good. Well, folks, we covered some interesting conversation this evening, and we know you have something to say about it. So, if you'd like to continue the conversation with us, you know what to do. You can reach us at thecrazylifepodcast.weebly.com is our website. crazylifepodcast@outlook.com is our email address. If you would like to talk to me, please find me on Twitter. You can find me there at Jen's Crazy Life. That's Jen with a G. And Brian, how can they find you?
You can find me at Stunami or at salty_language. That's the other podcast that I do, Salty Language. It's not safe for work. So be warned about that. You can also find this show on Twitter at The Crazy Life Pod, where I post when new episodes go up. You can find Heno on Twitter at Ida Heno. You can find him on Facebook at Heno Heiter. And his other podcast is called Moving the Needle. And I believe on the newest episode, they talked about compared the movies Speed and Point Break. So go check that out if that sounds like something you're interested in. You can find them on Twitter at MTN Pod. This show is part of the Tangent Bound Network, which can be found at tangentboundnetwork.com. So please go check out other shows there. And yeah, if you need help, please reach out. Like the stuff we talked about here, if you're having a hard time keeping commitments to yourself or feeling overwhelmed or whatever, please reach out to somebody. There's counselors and everything out there that can really help with this kind of thing. And please check in on your friends and make sure they're doing okay. And please be kind to one another and help people when you can. Let's all try to put out as much good energy as we possibly can.
Absolutely. Really good words to put out there in the universe. Help each other, love each other, take care of each other. We need a lot more of that today.
Yeah.
So, all right, with that, go out there and have the best week you possibly can. And don't forget, spread the love, not the COVID. One of the last times I'm going to get a chance to say that, I think.
Maybe.
And wiggle those toes.